him and then let you guys ask some questions.
Well, we had Sunday off after tough road trip, getting back late Saturday night. Yesterday's practice was competitive. Guys got after it. So we looking forward to tomorrow and Saturday.
How do you prepare for a twin tower situation with Rusich and DeAndre Ayton?
Well, you just have to make them play in crowds. You have to try to make them play in crowds. We're an undersized team. We go with smaller lineup last couple of games, and so just have to make sure you crowd those guys. If you leave someone out to try to guard those guys one-on-one, obviously it's going to be tough.
As we saw in the Washington State game, and we've seen it a few times before where guys can get hot from three, particularly in the corners against the zone. You said it's the length. Is there any way to make up for that lack of length in the corners when you're in the zone?
It's not the length. It's just our five-man has to come out sometimes. Sometimes what they do is they catch us on the bump. So the way a zone works is when you throw the ball to the wing, that bottom guy covers it until the guard bumps him to the corner. And so, but if the bump is slow, if the guard doesn't bump right away and the wing is supposed to be, it's going to be late, then the five-man has to come out. And so our five-men have to do a better job of, if we're in those situations, they have to be the one to close out and leave the lane. Because what happened was, against Washington State, they went 5 out when they saw King in the game, coming to the game. Mm-hmm. And so King's basically sitting in the lane guarding nobody. And so you're not going to be able to cover the bumps because they're just swing, wide open three, because the wing it takes too long for the wing to get from guarding wing, getting bumped by the guard to get to the corner. Mm-hmm. And so King should have covered that. He should have been able to recognize that he was not guarding anyone. Mm-hmm. They were 5 out, and then okay, I'm going to have to be the one to cover the corner because the wing's going to be too late. It's a simple math.
Playing 5-on-4, basically.
He's had to hear about it quite a bit from me the last couple of days, and so Marcus did a better job of getting out when he saw those situations, and so we just have to continue to work on it.
But Marcus was in foul trouble.
Marcus was on the bench majority of the game, so we had to go with some different lineups.
Is there anything you can do to kind of make sure he stays out of foul trouble,
No.
or is that just on him playing smart?
It's just on him playing smart, 100%. It's just on him making the right decisions, being a veteran, being able to feel, after the first foul, okay, let me not put myself in a situation where I'm going to pick up a second. Let me continue to play defense. Let me continue to compete and work, but let me not try to take a charge where that's a 50-50 play. That's up to the ref's discretion on how he wants to call that. Let me not slap down when a guy goes to shoot the ball in the post. Let me just wall up and make him score over me, as opposed to trying to slap down on the ball and get a steal. That's a conscious decision that he makes. That he's got to be smarter in those situations.
Have you seen going up against a big man with the skill set of Anaton this year? Is he?
No, there's nobody. You're talking about a guy that's probably going to be the number 1 pick in the draft. He's a freshman. Yeah. Skill set, size, strength is he's an animal. He's a monster. So no, I don't know if you've seen anyone like that in the last
20 years,
10 years in college basketball. So he's a special, one of a kind of talent, and he's 20 and 10 a game on a really good team. So
what can you do to neutralize
them? You have to make them play in
him?
crowds. You have to make them play in crowds. You can't expect one person to be able to guard him. So like anybody else, you got to make them play in crowds. I don't think anybody's tried to. All the film I've seen, no one's tried to guard him one-on-one. You have to make them play in crowds.
And it looks like he's pretty good at finding an open
Yeah,
man too.
yeah, and you know, you deal with that, you live with that, with the kickouts. Trust your rotations to get out to guys when he kicks out, but yeah, I mean, you can't, you're not going to stop him. You know, you just don't want him to go crazy. You don't want him to get 30 and 20. You know, so.
How do you keep the team engaged, focused when you've lost 4 in a row and you're getting down by 20 at times? How do you keep them caffeinated in terms of in practice?
Well, you know, you just got to keep reminding them that we're building for something better and greater down the road. So, and you know, they're not the type of kids that are going to throw in the towel. You know, so. You know, it's really not that difficult to keep them engaged. I mean, they're still ready to come to practice and compete and still ready to play games. I mean, the outcomes are the outcomes, but at the end of the day, it's still, you know, they're still college basketball players. They're still going to compete. They're not going to just throw in the towel. I mean, you know, they're still men. So that part is not difficult. You know, they're high character young men, so they're gonna do their job.
You've talked about how your team sometimes does better in underdog type of roles and everything, and you guys competed hard against Wichita State, and they're obviously an elite level team. Is there anything you can sort of draw from that experience as you head into this week?
I think that's more of just an individual mindset from our guys. You know, I think that you know, there's not as much pressure when you know. I think that some guys perform better when they know that the world thinks that they should probably get whooped. You know, some guys react and perform better in those environments, in those situations. And so, you know, I'd admit that we have some guys like that. And so, I expect us to come out and compete and work, and we'll see how it goes.
Washington State was the one team picked below you guys in the preseason. Was that a surprise that they got out to as big a lead as they got out to?
I wouldn't say it was a surprise. You know, when they have a guy shooting the ball the way that Franks was shooting the ball, I mean that was the difference right there. You know, you're talking about a guy who, a record that broke a shooting record. For a program that's been playing basketball for a long time, you know. So when you're up against that, I think that was the difference. That's what opened up the game.
Couple more, Coach?
Yeah, Justice Sung had a big game against Washington. He's really had a really strong freshman season. How much of his sort of performance has surprised you? Did you expect this from him, or what? Just your thoughts on his performance as of late?
You know, he was hurt a lot of the preseason. You know, he was out for 6 weeks, and so, you know, a month and a half, that's a lot of time out. And so when he came back, you know, he started off playing good basketball from game one, and so I've just kind of grown into knowing that he's talented. He's talented. I always knew he had talent. I think what separates him is his demeanor and composure. He's not easily frazzled, or he doesn't show bad body language when things don't go well. You know, he continues to play and continues to work. And you know, I think freshmen sometimes they fall into that trap of I made three plays, didn't go well for me, and now I guess that just means I'm going to have a bad game. He can make mistakes but still continue to make plays even after having a spell of not playing well. And so I think that's what kind of separates him. He continues on his path. You know, he stays focused.
How much do you see that sort of body language from you guys? 3 plays didn't go my way. Hang your head, hang your shoulders.
I see it. I mean, that's just college basketball at this point. I see it from not just us, but from everybody. You know, and we talk about it a ton. We address it, and you know, I just saw something on Twitter where Calipari's talking about it with his team. You know, it's just body language. Just, you know, for me, it's, you know, it's we tell our guys it's a sign of weakness. You know, it looks like you know, it's a sign of weakness, and so it's just something that you just have to address. And when you see it, you know, you have to let them know that you see it to kind of get them to snap out of it. But you know, as guys mature, you see it less and less.
Did you see that against Washington State?
I did, yeah, I did.
Did you let them know mid-game, hey, pick your head up?
Yeah, and the difference was I saw it against Washington State, but I didn't see it against Stanford. You know, I didn't see it so much against Stanford, and so, you know, yeah.
Thanks, everyone.